Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking on a topic that you probably think you know inside and out. Christmas traditions. We've gone through a whole stack of sources, articles, notes, just tons of accounts, and we've boiled them all down to the specifics, the timings, the key vocabulary.
Well, the stuff you really need to know. It's true, everyone sort of knows Christmas, but if you want to be genuinely well-informed, you have to get into the nuances.
Exactly.
So our goal today is really to give you that clear structure, the little memorable details, and I think most importantly, the practical conversational tools you need to get through the entire holiday season feeling confident.
Right, from that early December buzz.
All the way through to Boxing Day and the leftovers.
And we're not just, recognizing the holiday. We're getting into the deep cultural logistics. And to do that, we have to start with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because the source material just drops you right in with this really powerful sensory hook.
Oh, it does.
The cold air, the sparkle of lights, and those absolutely essential smells of, like, a real pine tree and cookies baking.
That's the signal, isn't it? That the curtain is rising, the atmosphere is just, it's everything.
Okay, so let's unpack the timing, because the sources are very strict about this. When does Christmas actually begin?
Yeah, this was interesting. There's a very clear rule, apparently. Decorations go up on the first weekend of December.
But not before December 1st.
Strictly not before. There's a real resistance to starting early.
And why is that?
Well, it's all about managing anticipation, isn't it? If you start in October, the magic just runs out by, December 15th.
Bored of it by then.
Exactly. So that first Saturday in December becomes this designated day. It's a whole day event, a ritual. It's about getting the family together, drinking hot chocolate, putting on that specific Christmas playlist.
And the big ceremony of getting those dusty old boxes down from the attic.
Right, which one source describes so beautifully as being like finding old, fragile treasures.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It suggests that half the joy is the memory that's attached to that one specific ornament, not just the sparkle.
Precisely. And that leads you right to the tree itself. The sources show this almost emotional preference for a real a pine tree over a plastic one.
And it's not just about looks, is it?
No, not at all. It's about that strong, authentic scent that just fills the entire house. That smell is the season.
I totally get that. But I was a little surprised the sources didn't really defend the plastic tree crowd. I mean, there are major trade-offs. The pine needles everywhere, the cleanup.
It does seem to imply that the effort is part of the tradition, that the mess is part of the commitment.
Okay, so once the tree is up, we get into the decoration vocabulary, which is fascinating. We hear about baubles.
Right, the shiny round ornaments, usually in those traditional reds, golds, and silvers.
And then you have tinsel.
Ah, tinsel, a great word.
It really is, those long, thin, shiny strips of foil. And the sources didn't need to define it, but they did highlight this kind of cultural debate around it.
They did. Some families use it sparingly, but others, oh my gosh, they use so much you can barely even see the tree. It's just a wall of shine.
Tinsel blindness, I think one person called it. Is it tacky or is it nostalgic?
It depends entirely on your family tradition, which makes it a great thing to talk about. And you see the same split with the lights. You have the warm white lights, which are sort of soft and cozy, very classic. And then you have the big, bright colored lights, the blues, the reds, which just scream fun.
And this is where the tradition gets really, really specific.
Yeah.
The topper. It's the last most important step. And we saw two very distinct traditions mentioned.
Yes. In one, the tallest person in the family has to be the one to put the star on top. It turns into this funny little physical challenge.
Right. And the other one?
The other is a very old, specific cloth angel. And only the mother is allowed to place it on the tree right at the end. She says it watches over the house.
That detail about the angel watching over the house, that's really powerful.
It is, because it connects directly to why we do these things. It's not about the ornament itself. It's about the special, repeatable act that ties the family's past and their memories to this exact moment. It creates this incredible sense of stability.
Stability. That's a
Yeah.
great way to put it. But does tradition ever become a source of pressure instead of just warmth?
Oh, absolutely. The moment the atmosphere is set, the logistical pressure cooker turns on. And that brings us right to our next section. Preparation and magic.
The logistical minefield of giving gifts.
Yes.
The sources capture that stress so well. The crowded stores, the challenge of finding that perfect gift. They give examples like finding the right book for someone who's read everything, or something really practical like new gloves because their old ones are falling apart.
And after you survive the shopping, you have to survive the hiding. Especially if you have kids like Clara, who was mentioned, the kind of kid who looks everywhere.
So the gifts have to be wrapped and hidden. The classic spots are mentioned. Under the bed, deep in a wardrobe.
Or the ultimate high security zone, the locked parents' bedroom.
Right. And all of this is happening while people are still keeping up the tradition of Christmas cards.
Yes. Which is interesting because even with emails and text messages, the sources really emphasize that sending a real paper card is still so important.
Especially for older relatives.
Oh, especially. They treasure seeing that card arrive in the post. It's a perfect example of how technology and tradition kind of live side by side.
Okay, so let's shift from the stress to the pure magic. Santa Claus or Father Christmas.
The anticipation here is just huge. The whole process of children writing these incredibly detailed letters and leaving them by the fireplace.
And that moment of pure delight when a really big request, like Clara's pink bicycle, is actually fulfilled. That's what defines the season for them.
It does. And a hardworking Santa needs fuel, right?
He does. The snack tradition on Christmas Eve is vital. We hear about the classic, a mince pie, and a glass of milk for Santa.
And of course, a carrot for the reindeer, specifically for Rudolph, to power the nose.
But the sources bring up a really crucial regional variation here.
They do, and it sparks real debate. Some families leave sherry for Santa instead of milk.
Which always brings up the question of sleigh driving safety.
It does. Does Santa's navigation improve with milk or with something a little stronger? It's a tiny detail, but it says so much about how families make the holiday their own.
It really does. And speaking of Christmas Eve, the sources show two main ways that evening can go.
Right. You have the quiet, spiritual, and special route, going to midnight mass.
Which is often held a bit earlier now, like 9 or 10 p.m.
Exactly. With the candles and the carols, it's very beautiful.
And the alternative.
The loud, fun, celebratory route, a big family dinner at home with aunts, uncles, cousins. It's noisy, maybe a little chaotic, but full of joy.
But no matter if the evening is quiet or loud, there's one tradition that seems to be pretty common.
The one gift rule.
The one gift rule. You're allowed to open one small present on Christmas Eve. It's often new pajamas.
Ready for the Christmas morning photos.
Or a book to read that night to try and calm down the excitement.
It's a brilliant piece of holiday pacing. It gives just enough of a release to get the kids through the night without spoiling the main event.
Which, of course, brings us to Christmas Day. The chaos and the feast. The morning ritual starts very, very early.
So early. You wake up with that incredible energy. You run downstairs and you see the presents under the tree. He came.
Santa succeeded. But before the main presents, you have to deal with the stockings.
Yes. The big, fluffy socks hung by the fireplace full of small things, the classic stocking stuffers.
The contents are so specific. Chocolate, little toys, nuts, a chocolate coin.
And always, without fail, a satsuma at the bottom.
The satsuma at the bottom is like a law of physics, isn't it? Why? Is it historical?
It's a really lovely mix of history and tradition. I mean, historically, getting fresh fruit in the middle of winter was a huge treat. And now, culturally, that bright orange color is the perfect contrast to all the sweets. It's like the final little punctuation mark.
So once the stockings are done, it's time for the main event, opening the presents. And again, we see this split in family traditions.
We do. There's the polite, organized style. You take turns. One person opens their gift. Everyone watches their reaction.
And the other side.
Glorious, happy chaos. Everyone just dives in at the same time. The sources describe it so vividly. Paper is flying everywhere. People are shouting. The noise level is just incredible.
Two different paths to the same joyful outcome.
Exactly.
And once the wrapping paper tsunami is over, we get to the main event for the stomach. Christmas dinner.
The core of the meal is pretty non-negotiable, isn't it? A massive roast turkey with loads of gravy.
And you have to have the stuffing or dressing, that flavorful mix of bread and herbs that's cooked inside the turkey.
This is where you get a lot of interesting little variations. Some people add chestnuts or different spices, but the job is the same. Add flavor and moisture.
And the side dishes are basically a fixed requirement. Roast potatoes, carrots, peas, and the much debated Brussels sprouts.
Usually helped along with a lot of butter.
A lot of butter. But the sauces are key. The creamy, mild bread sauce, and then that sweet and sour cranberry sauce, which you need to cut through all the richness.
I do. And then the dessert spectacle. This is pure theater. The Christmas pudding.
It's that dark, rich, sweet, steamed pudding that's often made weeks or even months in advance.
And the presentation is everything. So dramatic. You pour warm brandy over the top and you light it on fire.
The lights go down, the pudding flares up. It's just this amazing moment before you eat it with cream or custard. A real fiery spectacle.
And we also have to mention the smaller but essential treat, mince pies. Those little sweet pastries filled with dried fruit and spices. They're like the flavor of the season in one bite.
After all that, you hit the inevitable food coma.
Oh, yes. The sources describe it as just sitting on the sofa, maybe falling asleep, or playing a gentle board game or charades.
And then there's the official ritual punctuation mark for the day.
At 3 p.m. sharp, the traditional pause button is hit to watch the king's speech on television. And it doesn't matter what your politics are, that annual address just turns this domestic celebration into a shared national event. It makes the day feel official.
Which takes us right into Boxing Day and our practical toolkit for you, the listener.
Yeah.
So, December 26th, it's a public holiday, a day for relaxation and leftovers.
Absolutely. It's a day of maximum comfort, minimum effort. The leftovers are key, especially cold turkey sandwiches with that cranberry sauce. It's for long walks or just watching football on TV. The contrast with Christmas Day is the whole point.
And the sources pointed out some really important cultural specifics. The British tradition of the Christmas cracker, you just can't have dinner without one.
No, you can't. It's a cardboard tube that two people pull apart and makes a bang, and inside you get a tiny toy, a really terrible silly joke, and a paper hat.
Which you have to wear.
You have to wear it. It's mandatory silliness.
The whole atmosphere is also defined by the media we're all consuming. The classic Christmas songs. You know, All I Want for Christmas Is You on a loop.
Or the more melancholic fairy tale of New York. And of course, the films. It has to be Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life.
It all contributes to that feeling of being festive. You can't forget the ugly Christmas sweaters.
No, the loud, often blinking jumpers you wear to parties.
So let's bring this directly back to you, the listener. You are the logistics. Now, how do you use this knowledge to sound informed and approachable?
Right. You can use these specifics to make really confident small talk. So instead of just a generic happy holidays, you could ask a coworker, morning, getting busy with Christmas preparations yet? Have you started the annual battle of untangling the lights?
And you can use those sensory details from the beginning to give real compliments. So when you go to someone's house, instead of nice tree, you could say, wow, it smells amazing in here. That real pine just makes it feel like Christmas.
Yes, and you can make polite suggestions using phrases like, shall we get some roasted chestnuts? Or maybe we could have a quick mince pie before the film starts. That framing is so useful.
And crucially, how to handle sensitive topics. If you meet someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, what's the advice?
The key is just to be respectful and kind. Don't press them on their plans. Just offer a really warm, general wish, like, I hope you have a really wonderful holiday season with your family.
And what about that really tricky situation? Getting the same gift twice.
The advice is to be honest, but gentle. Thank the person so much for the thought and then immediately find a positive use for the second one. Oh, I love this color. I can keep one at work, so I always have a spare. It's just about keeping the goodwill.
So to sum it all up for you, we've gone through the whole timeline, from the strict timing of the tree to the 2 ways Christmas Eve can go, the specific details of the dinner, the stuffing, the flaming pudding, all the way to these practical phrases you can actually use.
And the core meaning, which was in every single account we looked at, is beautifully simple. The presents and the food are great, but the real point of the season is being with family and friends, making memories, and creating this little bubble of warmth and light during the coldest part of the year. It's about that connection, that sense of charity.
It is. But before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final thought, which builds on all these fascinating little details we've uncovered. We saw that even within one culture, traditions vary so much. You have milk or sherry for Santa.
Yeah.
You have an angel or a star for the tree. You have polite turn-based present opening or
happy flying chaos.
Exactly. So this raises a really important question. When the rules for these annual rituals are so fluid, so adaptable, what fundamental human need does the very act of maintaining and sometimes fiercely defending these small arbitrary traditions actually serve?
Is it just nostalgia? Or is it something deeper, like a need for structure and identity in a world that's always changing?
It's something for you to think about the next time you put on an ugly Christmas sweater or argue about whether tinsel is tacky. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
Apply this knowledge, use those phrases, and may your holidays be filled with joy and wonderful memories. Until next time.